if it wasn't the farmer, butchers, part of being a butcher was also the kill, and that's evolved as well. But Smoky Joes, Autonomies, and such all do great jobs with the different products and are taking them down when they come in. Some of the farmers are very conscious, like sometimes because they start processing early in the morning, some of the farmers will not take their animals the night before and leave them there overnight. Just be kind of, well, when you walk into an abattoir, it has a certain aroma to it. And even the cows and pigs know what that aroma is. And so it can cause stress to them and such. And so a lot of the farmers won't take them in the night before. They'll wait until first thing in the morning and get there and unload the animals and make the process as quick as possible. Now, if you do want to go to the abattoirs, I don't know how many of you have. Smoky Joe's has a good counter front that you can go into. You don't necessarily have to be completely exposed to the abattoir lifestyle. Where Autonomies, have you been to Autonomy?
We went last weekend. That was a bit of an eye-opener.
It can be an eye-opener.
Did you count the fingers?
There's a few missing ones in there.
Yeah, walking yesterday, and sure enough, there was a pig on the table. It had been processed and such, but it was literally cut right in half from snout to tail. And if you're not used to seeing things, it can be a little different for you. But if you're comfortable with it, it's a great spot to go to.
They allow walk-ins and people like us?
Oh, completely, yeah. You'll find that it's best if you call ahead, though, if you're actually looking for something.
Like bone in, pork shoulder for smoke or something like that?
Yeah, call it in, tell them what size that you're looking for, and then they'll take care of it and such for you. And you just show up and they'll have it ready for you, and you just pay for it there.
If you're looking for something like that, oftentimes it's going to be frozen unless they know you're coming.
That's
They
just
might
it.
have it, but it'll be frozen, and if you're expecting to do it that weekend, forget it.
Yeah. When you are dealing with them, though, you know, you'll learn quickly when the kill dates are, or what the kill days are for what animals and whatnot. Pigs they usually take down on Wednesdays, Tuesday or Wednesdays. So if you do want a whole pig for the weekend, call in at least a week in advance, or a week and a half, or if you're going to get something like this, or anything that you're going to get. But yeah, when you walk in, you're going to see them right there working on whatever it is that they need to be working on. They will, they'll even take you into the back if you want, on kill days and such. If that's something that actually interests you, I suggest that you go online. You can go to BBC3 and check out Cook It, Kill It, Eat It. It's a restaurant that's set up in Britain. And you come in, you sit down at a table, reservations are at one time. And once dinner service begins, the curtains on the side of the room open up. And they walk in live animals and take them through the entire process of what it takes of kill it, cooking it, and then eating it and such. And you will be eating the animal that you see taken down. It is exactly that. It is a little bit intense for some people and such, but it is a way to expose yourself to it if you choose to. There is a vet on hand at all times that talks about exactly what's going on so that it can actually describe the process to you so you have a better understanding of it. But just be prepared that it is a little bit more solid, and by watching that, you can decide whether you actually want to go into an abattoir on kill day. There's one thing on television, it's another thing when you hear it and smell it.
When you bought this, was there different grades of pork, or is it all the same meat?
Pretty much all the same. Pork really doesn't go through the grading process, it goes through an inspection process as all meat does. And all that ensures for us is that it's wholesome and fit to eat. Which I challenge some days personally. Our food chain is, as we were talking, in a very delicate thread sometimes. We've been very fortunate here that we haven't had a situation in Canada where we've had major foodborne illnesses come up, but it is a reality. What's going on in Europe right now is a little bit scary, and they're still trying to track it down. But when you have that much food being produced in such a large scale for so many people, something's going to go wrong.
I thought they solved that problem. The Germans simply said it wasn't us.
That was just it. Not me. But yeah, now there's billions of dollars being paid out by the EU to different farms. I'm sure the Canadian farmers would have appreciated that over mad cow.
The Americans never have a mad cow problem.
No, never. No, we had one. We had one. But now the U.S. is promoting Canadian beef because they know that they can market it and get a bigger buck for it.
They say McDonald's uses Canadian beef. At one
Oh yeah,
time
that's
they
what I mean.
did.
At one time they did.
Oh, yeah.
Now they do incorporate Canadian beef into their products. Now McDonald's yesterday also announced that they are, in Europe, using nothing but sustainable fish on their menus, which makes everyone wonder what they're using in North America and such, but they are taking a very positive stance in the EU. McDonald's acts very proactively if there is public outcry. If there's no public outcry, why do anything, right? Understandably. But the chief meat inspector for McDonald's is actually responsible for, was actually designed the method that this pig was killed by, Temple Grandin. So they, a lot of us like to curse McDonald's, but they've actually done a lot of good for the world. They're just in an awkward situation, basically, the way that it all rolls out.
I was down in Montreal with the Packers down there. I was just peeing in there. It was kind of crude the way they killed pigs then. One guy just hooked a chain on the leg and up it go, and the guy grabbed it by the ear and stuck it on it went.
On it went.
It was in the boiling water in seconds.
It's changed a little bit, but it is a quick process. We have to. It's called exsanguination is the main focus of it.
Deblooding.
Deblooding.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Worst thing I've ever seen is duck, King Cole ducks.
Oh yeah.
I've been in their facility on a kill day.
They put through a lot of duck.
Oh man, that
Phenomenal
just
lot
don't
of
cure you of
duck.
any kind of poultry.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Live duck to chilled and packaged in, what the heck was it, 12 minutes?
Yep. Quack quack to let's eat.
King Cole over in Newmarket. Yeah.
Yeah. Canada's. He started it up as a hobby.
They feed a lot of ducks and geese.
Yep. Now he's put through 21 million. 21 million animals, I think, a year now. They started out as a hobby farm. Great products. I like it when you can go in and you get them and they're bagged and they're still warm.
My aunt used to kill chickens and take them to the Peterborough market.
Okay.
And
Chef, I just
when
wondered-
I stayed at her place in the summertime, we had to get up
It's okay.
really early Saturday morning and help clean these chickens before she took them to the market.
Jeff, I just wondered if you could speak up a little louder.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Traffic when it's going by, can't hear you.
Okay. I'll get better.
Now, how
Okay.
many years does it take to be a chef, like when you're at school?
Well, we don't actually become chefs. We become a certified cook. It is a trade, and it's an apprenticeship trade. Chef just simply means chief en français. So technically, you can be the chief of transportation. And if you Google chef, you'll see that. You'll see the different titles pop up. It just means you're chief. So chef de cuisine just means chief of the kitchen. How does that process work? There's a number of routes that you can go. You can go through school. You can get degrees. You can get different diplomas and such. However, you have to complete 6,000 apprenticeship hours as well. Even the students that are graduating from college, they have a degree and a certification in culinary and in business, but they're not a chef yet. And it's not until they complete their 6,000 hours of apprenticeship and then challenge our industry trade exam or our Red Seal certification that they then can go by the name or term as chef, technically.
So you said Red Seal.
Yes.
Are there different levels? Like
There
gold,
are a
silver?
ton of levels, yes. And the Blue Seal was our interprovincials, which was the provincial standard. Red Seal is the national standard across Canada. And you will see a lot of chefs, oh, I'm a red seal chef. Well, it's a written test. It takes about 3 hours to write the test. It is strictly written, it is purely theory. You can be book smart, but you might not be able to cook. So there's a lot of controversy in the industry as to the merit of red seal chefs. But basically you go blue seal chef, then you go red seal chef. The next level after that is your triple C. Certified triple C. Certified chef de cuisine. And now, because there are all kinds of red seal chefs out there, the triple C is the next level that you want to go to. Then after that, you go for your CMC, which is your certified master chef. And it keeps going on up through the ranks there. It's not until you get to the triple C level where you actually have to cook for your examination. There's the pig. Now I didn't bring a meat saw with me. I would normally, basically those are the little T-bone steaks coming off of there. I can go through and I can crack it or I can crunch it with a knife. I prefer to use a meat saw on it and such. I was a little bit wasteful, really. I can go through here and clean it up. Quite often what I will do is go through and clean up the bones as much as I can, and even take a spoon and scrape them as clean as I can if I want to be very, very, very efficient and save every little bit of meat. So I'm not going to use these bones for stock or anything, but by using a spoon, if you're awkward with your knife, you can clean the bones right up and remove all this meat out of here. And then that can go into a grinder for sausage. It can go into a bolognese sauce. It can go into dog food. Go into whatever you want around the house. So you can clean it right up without any waste on it if you choose to. And it's very easy just to scrape it all down. And remove it. If you choose to. That's at your discretion. Just put that in the cooler. Now back on the grading and inspecting and such. Grading of meat, any meat, is purely voluntary. It's not a compulsory thing, and if it's been inspected, it just means that it's wholesome and fit to eat. Nothing more. So, utility turkeys, which is what a lot of restaurants, lower end restaurants, cafeteria style and such might use. A utility grade turkey is allowed to have 3 unidentified tumors. That's graded meat. Wonderful conversation we got into here this morning when we want to eat. But that's the reality of grading meat. Grading meat tells us how big in ratio an eye might be. Here, I'll do a cut off of here. See where our lines are going. So much there, about there. Looks familiar? Looks like a pork chop. Covered in cornmeal, we're going to call it back bacon, Canadian bacon, pea meal, whatever we want. So if this is going to be graded, what we might do here is take a look at how big the eye is in relation to how much fat is on the outside of the animal. That's what grading will do. It'll tell you the meat to fat ratio. Excuse me. So if we get into something, say, Black Angus, there's a lot of excitement about Black Angus beef right now.